in court today.
A fire in Refugio County is now under control.
And a federal judge in Texas ruled that DACA is unlawful.
And we are waiting for some rain. Yes, sirree, folks. In fact, we've got a good shot at getting some good rain all over the Crossroads area the next 3 or 4 days, all courtesy of that little frontal system. We'll be talking more about that coming up.
And the Calhoun Sandcrabs and Yoakum Bulldogs are the focus of Week 4 for CFL. Join us back here for all that and more at Sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10.
This is breaking news from 25 News Now.
Breaking news tonight at 7:22 p.m. The Victoria Police Department responded to the 2000 block of Crestwood on a shots fired call. Officers found a 57-year-old male that had gunshot wounds. He was transported to the hospital and died from his injuries. The Victoria Police Department currently has 3 suspects in custody.
A high-speed chase Wednesday ended with an arrest in Hallettsville. 34-year-old Lamar Darian Martin of Hallettsville in custody after a chase that started in Fayette County. After running over 2 spike strips going into Hallettsville, the suspect fled on foot before Hallettsville police took him into custody. Authorities say about 11 kilos of methamphetamine located in Schulenburg that had been dumped by the driver. Also taken from the suspect, over $3,000 in U.S. currency. Martin charged with possession of a controlled substance and evading arrest. 4 former Industrial ISD baseball players indicted in an assault case were in court today. The former baseball players charged with organized criminal assault back in July. Braxton Cole Warren, Zachary James Kukler, Christopher Taylor Ricori, and Cullen Reed Stumfall were in the Jackson County Courthouse this morning. The hearing will determine the future of the case.
Lower taxes are coming to Wharton County residents. The Wharton Journal-Spectator reports the Wharton County Commissioners Court voted unanimously this week to adopt a balanced 2024 county budget and a 2023 tax rate, cutting taxes and offering raises to county employees in the process.
Refugio County Sheriff's deputies and volunteer firefighters dealing with a large brush fire on Kelly Road just west of the Refugio County Airport. The fire is named as the Kelly Fire. The Texas Forest Service is responding with dozers and a strike team to assist. The Myrtle Beach fire in Aransas Pass now 85% contained. Authorities say 80 acres were consumed in this fire. They don't know of any structures burned or destroyed in the fire. Mandatory evacuations ended Wednesday night. Fire crews and dozers continue to work on suppressing hot spots and widening the fire lines. This will continue through the night as necessary. Let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez. And Mac, once again, we have these fires and it shows it's really dry in South Texas.
And the good news is the rain is coming and hopefully it'll help us out because we've been in such a drought for so long. We had some shower activity down over Calhoun County and over Refugio County earlier this afternoon. You might have gotten a few sprinkles here in Victoria County, but the real heavy stuff is out in West Texas, and that's the storm system that's coming through on Friday with a significant amount of rain. So we'll be talking about that in just a moment.
Mac, thank you. A federal appeals court set a date of October 5th to hear arguments in the Texas border buoy case. Last week, the appellate court ordered a temporary freeze in the case after Texas requested a stay. The freeze came just 24 hours after a U.S. district judge ruled the White House could order Texas to remove the buoys covered in razor wire. In July, the Justice Department sued Texas over the floating barrier. Governor Greg Abbott claims it was within the state's constitutional authority to put the barrier. A federal judge in Texas ruled today that a regulation intended to preserve the Obama DACA program is unlawful. The order doesn't impact current beneficiaries of the program, but it delivered a major blow to the Biden administration. The ruling is expected to be appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, sending the program's fate before the High Court for a 3rd time. The judge previously declared the 2012 Obama-era program illegal. The U.S.-Mexico border is the deadliest land route for migrants worldwide. There were 686 deaths and disappearances in 2022. That represents nearly half of the nearly 1,500 migrant deaths and disappearances recorded throughout the Americas last year. A report showed nearly half of the 686 deaths and disappearances happened while migrants crossed the dangerous deserts. That's the meetup to California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. A IOM spokesperson said countries needed to act to ensure safe, regular migration routes are accessible.
Corpus Christi and Killeen ISDs this week voted to join a lawsuit against the Texas Education Agency. KCEN reports the lawsuit is over the TEA's new accountability rating process. The school districts say changes this year to the system lacked transparency. The accountability ratings were originally scheduled to be released September 28th, but were delayed until late October so the agency could re-examine the data used to calculate the ratings. A Girl Scout troop recounting some scary moments they had to swim for safety when they found themselves feet away from an alligator.
Emergency here, the alligator, it's in the water. What the f?
It happened on an overnight camping trip at Huntsville State Park. The alligator was about 14 feet long and it was swimming towards the troop, causing panic and chaos. The girls all swam to shore safely. The experts say alligator attacks there are rare, but they can happen. An explosion and fire at a rural oil and gas facility in North Texas this morning. Fire crews responded to the fire around 7 a.m. Firefighters with the Decatur and Wise County Fire Departments worked to put out the flames, which looked to be contained to one of the storage tanks on the property. One person taken to the hospital with unknown injuries. Officials have yet to say what sparked the blast that started the fire. The Southside Community Coalition meeting Thursday afternoon at 5:30. The meeting is at Meals on Wheels, South Texas, 603 East Murray Street.
Victoria Symphony hosted its yearly luncheon to celebrate the golden anniversary of the symphony at the Spring Creek Event Center. The luncheon was partnered with a style show. This is the 14th show the symphony has hosted. Event organizers enjoyed the huge turnout for the event.
Spectacular. We really love doing it. We have great participation, and we're just so thankful to have all these people here.
The event included a fashion show, silent auction, bake sale, and music. Victoria Symphony's 50th concert series starts September 16th. Hey, it's this Saturday.
And also this Saturday, Walk for a Cause this weekend. Affectionate Arms Adult Daycare wants you to help them reach their $10,000 goal at their walkathon fundraiser. Here's how it works. Participants will register to walk a predetermined distance and they will secure donations from friends and family. The goal is to improve both mental and physical health of elderly and disabled adults. It kicks off this Saturday, September 16th at the Ted B. Reed Park from 8 to 11 a.m. And here is your viewer poll tonight. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. The question is, will you participate in the Affectionate Arms Walkathon fundraiser this Saturday? Yes or no? According to these results tonight, 6% are saying yes and 94% stand at no. Thank you for voting tonight. Visit us tomorrow for our latest viewer poll.
And you can read more about the Victoria Symphony's annual League Style Show and Luncheon on crossroadstoday.com. The event included a fashion show, a silent auction, a bake sale, and music performed by the Crossroads Jazz Combo.
Here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. A neighborhood comes together to replace a 5-year-old's bike after it was stolen. And the Calhoun County ISD updated their code of conduct to reflect the changes on how students caught with THC are punished. Plus, Our Lady of the Gulf Catholic Church is hosting its yearly Fall Festival this Sunday. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button, click that notification bell, then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. 3 people, including 2 children, found dead in an early morning house fire near New Orleans.
Also ahead, a federal judge has blocked part of a public health order that suspended the right to carry guns in public in New Mexico. Fire near New Orleans this morning. The bodies of an adult woman and 2 children were found inside a home around 4 a.m. today. The fire broke out inside a pool house which sits next to a larger home where the family members lived. A preliminary inspection by arson investigators has not uncovered anything suspicious about this, but investigation is still ongoing. No working smoke detectors were found inside the home. A federal judge has blocked part of a public health order that suspended the right to carry guns in public across New Mexico's largest metro area. The ruling Wednesday marks a setback for New Mexico Governor Michelle Grisham as she responds to several recent shootings that took the lives of children. Top law enforcement officials in Albuquerque vowed not to enforce the order, and the state attorney general urged the governor to reconsider her action.
Some boarding school students who evacuated the Maui wildfires last month, eager to return to campus, they'll be reporting to their temporary school site Thursday.
The boarders are like family, and for them, the school is their home.
Kiana Kekona is cherishing moments like this with her 2 children a little more nowadays.
This is a nightmare.
Just 35 days ago, she wasn't able to get a hold of her oldest son, Nainoa, who was stuck in Lahaina as the largest fire in modern history tore through the town.
All you hear is just cars exploding and gas all over.
I was walking on eggshells all day.
15-year-old Nainoa Ka'ai Kekona is a second-year boarder at Lahaina Luna High School. He and the other boarders were already on campus, moved in, and ready to start their school year. They were at the top of Lahaina Luna Road.
Could see everything. We just had like a little meeting. They told all of us to stay inside. And so that's what we did. We had breakfast in there, lunch, dinner. And we just stayed inside, kept each other company.
As the fire spread, authorities said a mile a minute. Nainoa and the other boarders evacuated campus and then had to evacuate an evacuation shelter before finally escaping West Maui completely.
All we could see was just dark smoke, guys in the water, and just cars exploding.
When he got to Maui High, he called and he asked, "Mom, are you coming to pick me up? I'm at Maui High." That was like the biggest relief, the biggest. I jumped in my car and I drove straight to him, gave him the biggest hug and told him that I loved him.
Nainoa and other Lahaina Luna High students will start school at Kuleni Hako'i High in Kihei in South Maui this Thursday. He's excited to see his friends and fellow boarders again, but says he can't wait to be back on campus doing life together again as one family.
Over the last few weeks, the North Carolina coast has had multiple deaths from rip currents. Now another big threat of those dangerous conditions has arrived. North Topsail Beach and others along the coast currently under a high rip current risk. The current risk will remain high because of the impacts of Hurricane Lee, which will pass hundreds of miles off the North Carolina coast. One resident in the area says she feels safe because of the notifications the town shares.
There's a lot of notifications that go out, and being over here at the public beach access, like a lot of times they'll put up signs that'll let you know what the current wave conditions are and the beach conditions, and I think just being aware of that and aware of posted signs to know what the safety measures are is what's important.
If you get caught in a rip current, make sure to swim parallel to the shoreline until you can escape or wave for help. Here's some of the top headlines you can read in the Cuero Record. Cuero Chamber of Commerce collaborates with Miss Golden Crescent. And the Gobblers of 1973 celebrate their 50th anniversary state football championship. You can read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com.
And good evening, everybody. We're at 82 degrees right about now. We managed to get up to 101, and then all of a sudden the rain showed up. Isn't that nice? Some of you got rain, some of you didn't, but let me tell you, the next couple of days, I think everybody's going to get something good rain coming toward the crossroads. We'll be talking about that coming up in a moment. Did you see it? Did you see the rain? Did you see the clouds build up this afternoon? It was awesome. How long has it been since we had some nice rain? It's been a while, and you know, promising you that next week, you know, fall actually begins and things are going to be looking better, folks. Now, this is the observed rain. In other words, this is where the rain fell. Whoops, let's go back a little bit. Fell over the last 6 hours. Now, here's Victoria, here's downtown. You can see how most of it was down south toward Bloomington and headed all the way down to about Port Lavaca. Looks like northern portions of Refugio County got some rain as well. Not so much up north, but it's only the beginning. There you see the showers one more time rolling through. That's exactly where the rain was. And now we're watching out for West Texas because right about here, there's going to be a spin in the atmosphere going in this fashion. And that spin is actually going to propagate toward us eventually and give us a pretty good shot at rain. Now, I don't know that you know this. I know you don't know this. It's fall in Texas, okay? I know you don't know this because it was 101 today, but it is fall in North Texas and West Texas, East Texas. Everybody's in the action except us. It's called, this little frontal system has divided us from fall, but it's not that far away, and that's the good news. There you see the frontal system and the heavier rains already beginning out in Southwest Texas, out there over Alpine. That's the stuff that's going to be headed toward our area. Now, this is what I'm talking about, fall it's fall. Okay, look at this. The high temperature in Abilene was 78. The high temperature at Lubbock was 69, and we were at 101. So somebody's having fun. Somebody's going to the closet pulling out old sweaters. There you see what we expect for tomorrow. We'll still be in the 90s, but North Texas will be enjoying the very nice weather. Now, how much more rain will we get? Well, tomorrow being your Thursday, we're going to see more shower activity rolling through. But so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, storm total, all the way to Monday, there's a good possibility that we could see up to 1 to 2 inches of rain, storm total, over our area. Up to an inch down south, and some spots may see 2 to 3 inches of rain. So this is a good sign. Bad sign, it's going to be the weekend. Some of you have got plans, I know, but now you've got to consider that there's going to be rain in the forecast. There's system number 1 coming in on Thursday. System number 2 develops right behind it, right about there. And you can see how the low is going to be tracking toward our area. The frontal system will be sort of washing out by the time we get to Sunday, and then everything sort of settles down. The frontal system actually getting manipulated by Hurricane Lee. And as Don mentioned, I mean, the storm's way out here, and yet all of the East Coast is getting rough seas. Now, where is Lee? There's Lee right there, finally beginning to move northbound to Category 2. It'll come ashore as a Category 1. So it's not a beautiful day, but it is a rough storm system, but it could be a whole lot worse. And so there is Lee, should be onshore by the time we get to Sunday. Here's all the computer models. You can see how they all, we call this the spaghetti models because each line is a different computer projection. When they're all in agreement today like this, it tells us that we're pretty certain where this thing's going to go, and it looks like it's Nova Scotia. Here's Bangor, Maine. Anybody ever been to Bangor, Maine? For us, we're looking at a 91 with a shower or 2 tomorrow. And then for Cuero, we're looking for a 93 with a shower or 2 tomorrow. And then the real stuff gets here, and that's on Friday. I've called it an alert day for Friday and Saturday because everybody's going to be affected by what could be a significant rainfall coming finally to the crossroads. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody to download this QR code and put it on your phones and have Crossroads today wherever you need to go. Here's Gino with sports.
And NFL are in the midst of making some changes for the players. We have the details after the break. At a crossroads, the game of the week is between two teams that are 2-1 heading into week 4, the Calhoun Sand Crabs and the Yoakum Bulldogs. The Sand Crabs are coming into Friday's game as the underdogs. Calhoun beat Sinton 26-17 and shut out CC West Oso 42-0. Calhoun head football coach Richard Whitaker said that the Yoakum is filled with tremendous talent and they are going to be hard to stop. He went on to say if he and the team want to win, the offensive line is going to have to win up front and they are going to have to continue to make first downs, because if they make first downs, then the Yoakum offense can't do what they do because they're sitting on the sideline. The number 10 ranked Yoakum Bulldogs are still number 10 even after a loss to Cuero last week. The Bulldogs had 3 turnovers in a game that they felt let it slip away. Yoakum head football coach Bo Robinson said the record for before district does not matter to him as long as they get better every week. The things he said the team needs to get better on are running the ball and tackling. He was pleasantly surprised that the team has 4 times as many turnovers as they did last year into the season. 2 Crossroads teams will battle on the gridiron Friday night for the game of the week for week 4. Calhoun will look for the upset and Yoakum is looking to move up in the rankings, and that kickoff will be in Yoakum. The National Football League Players Association is calling for a big change, saying it is the easiest decision the NFL can make. The Players Association issued a statement early today that the executive director, Lloyd Howell, said players overwhelmingly prefer regular grass fields, and it is clear data that it is safer than actual artificial turf. The call to action comes 2 days after the news broke that Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers tore his left Achilles ending his season essentially. The cost to make the change to grass fields is an investment, but Howell said if the NFL keeps losing big names to injury, it could lead to a bigger cost. NFL stadiums like AT&T Stadium in Arlington are known for switching to grass surfaces in special cases like the World Cup or when other big soccer games come to town. The National Basketball Association came out with a policy to ensure that more of its star players will appear in more games. The league's Board of Governors approved a new player participation policy that will take effect this season. It will focus on the stars, meaning athletes who have been on the All-NBA team or have been an All-Star in the previous 3 seasons, which includes 50 players in the NBA currently. Teams will have to manage their rosters to ensure multiple star athletes are not sitting out of the same game. If they do, they will face $100,000 fines the first time, a $200,000 fine the second, and a $1 million fine each time after that. The teams are allowed to request exemptions for back-to-back games with older players, and those players include LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry. Well, that's your sports. Don and Karina, back to you.
All right, Gino, thank you, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, a cruise ship carrying over 200 passengers remains stuck in Greenland. SAG-AFTRA hosted a solidarity march and rally in Hollywood. The march began this morning at Netflix, one of the companies receiving much of the blame for the conditions that led to this big Hollywood strike. The WGA has been on strike for 134 days, and SAG-AFTRA joined for 61 days, paralyzing the production of many movies and TV shows. SAG-AFTRA represents approximately 160,000 actors and other professionals.
This is an amazing turnout, and your strength and your solidarity and your resolve is going to get us to the other side of this, and history is in the making right now.
The union wants to ensure members receive their fair share of streaming revenues, increased compensation to keep pace with inflation, and they also want an agreement that will give actors informed consent and fair pay if AI, artificial intelligence, is used to create digital replicas of their performance, voice, or likeness.
A news station in Baltimore was out this morning covering the aftermath of severe weather when this happened. A motorcycle ran into a downed tree and it was all caught, of course, on camera. The rider was knocked off the bike, and thanks to quick reactions from the drivers behind him, nobody was hurt. The motorcyclist was able to walk away without incident, and boy was he lucky.
He was lucky.
Yeah.
That's a scary situation because the trees, especially with a storm like that, you don't know.
They're not lit up, and then the guys behind him don't see him either. So, boy, he's a very lucky guy there. Well, I don't think we're going to get that kind of stormy weather, but we are going to get the most significant rain we've had since, I don't know, last April. We're looking at the little frontal system. It's not, a huge cold front, but it is a boundary line, and it is going to cause rain. Now, there will be showers, more showers Thursday, tomorrow, and the heaviest stuff will be Friday night and into Saturday. Now, for Friday night football, tune in at 5 o'clock. We'll have the latest on what's going on and who may or may not be affected by the stormy weather. And so just stay tuned. And if you're going to the game, find an umbrella, okay?
Alrighty, thank you, Mac. A luxury cruise ship is awaiting rescue on Greenland's east coast. The Ocean Explorer, that's the name of the ship, ran aground in that area Monday with over 200 people on board. The ship is in the Northeast Greenland National Park, a 375,000 square mile area that is in the mostly northerly national park in the world. The U.S. State Department confirmed there were several Americans on board the cruise ship. The ship's tour operations operators said the passengers are all safe and well. But if you get stuck, I mean, I feel like Greenland is the peaceful way to get stuck in.
It's a beautiful place.
I wouldn't complain about the view. You have to call into work. I can't. I'm stuck in Greenland.
I'm stuck in Greenland.
Well, one big question I guess a lot of people may ask is, how did it get stuck? What is the problem there? Because I don't know if the company has really explained, or the U.S. government.
It sounds to me like they they're on a sandbar or something, where the hull is not able to move, because otherwise they just turn the motors on and keep going. But we wish them the best out there. I hope, if they run out of food, they can do a little fishing, I guess.
Oh, yeah, get some salmon maybe.
Salmon.
Salmon
Lucky
in the view.
guess.
Yeah. Alrighty, thank you, Don, and thank you, Mac, and thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10.
Join Carolina Astrain, meteorologist Trey Mining. 25 News Now Sunrise starting at 5 a.m. Good night, everybody.